rolling. Oh, neat, there's a little motel thing across the street. I need to go on this side of the road. Don't get distracted. There's about to be lines. I'm going to do basically whatever I want in the rest area, but once I'm out, no more. Oh, cool. This is just an on-ramp. Sweet. I was worried I was going to have to make a right turn. This is better. Yay, better. All right. Do-do-do-do. 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 I was not expecting this to have an on-ramp to the highway. That's kind of cool. So, woke up, did our pre-trip. Man, this is a beautiful sight to wake up to, isn't it? This is great. I like this. I need to sleep in this valley more often. I also need to really clean my windows. We're going through Salt Lake City today. I'll stop in Salt Lake City and get them to run my truck through the truck wash. That's an idea. They've got an automat there. But yeah, this is gorgeous. Look, there's snow on that mountain. It dropped below freezing last night for the first time in, well, the first time that I've gotten below freezing temperatures in Mr. Maxwell here for the year. My heater worked just fine. I was perfectly comfortable the entire time. I've also got thermal blankets, so, and an electric blanket underneath my sheets, so I can turn that on if I need to as well. I am highly prepared for cold weather. But no, my thermal blankets and just turning the heater on a couple of times last night were more than enough to keep me comfortable. But I did discover a coolant leak this morning when I woke up. I'm pretty sure it was just the cold weather. There was a metal band that expanded a little bit and just let some coolant dribble out of a hose. So I tightened up that metal band. I replaced the coolant I lost, and we'll keep an eye on that and see if it's a problem later. But I'm pretty sure we've got that one solved. So I'm not worried. I went ahead and tightened all the metal bands that were on that particular hose just in case. That's probably just a vibration issue. It makes me really glad we've got the metal bands on those and not the plastic ones, because the plastic ones would have broken by now. If you check around YouTube, there's some videos of some other truck drivers getting Freightliners from about the same time period as Mr. Maxwell here, and apparently some of them got plastic clamps on their hoses instead of metal clamps. I guess Freightliner tried to save a little bit of money, but I don't know if it was if Prime just said no to that, or if it was just Freightliner themselves reverting back to the metal clamps. But we've got the metal clamps on ours, so we're good. They last a good long time. You can adjust them as they loosen up with age. It's great. It's great. It's just a band, and there's a mechanism on it. There's teeth on. There's a screw with a really good deep grooves on it, and then there's holes punched in the band that line up with those grooves. So you can turn the screw and it tightens the band. It's really great. It's a beautiful design. Like the how things work mechanics nerd in my head is like, that's brilliant. I love that. Simple machines working together. Alrighty, we are approaching Wendover. We're still about 20 miles south of it, but you can kind of see it way off in the distance. To the right are the Salt Flats. We are hurtling down from White Horse Pass. And White Horse Pass lived up to its name. Well, most of its name. We saw some horses. Unfortunately, I was not recording at the time, but there were some horses near the summit of White Horse Pass that almost walked across the road in front of me. And it's like, no, honk, honk, honk. Scare the horses away. It's like, all right, there's wild horses up here. Okay, that's a real thing. That's cool. I've had some fascinating wildlife encounters in the last 24 hours. I did save a clip of one wildlife encounter last night. This is kind of like my reminder to grab that and stick that in a video, or just upload it separately or something, because it's got podcast happening in the background. I was listening to the Morph Club cast. Oh, there's another wild horse off to the left just now. Which, and not in frame, unfortunately. He's just standing over there. It's a brown horse. So, again, not quite the color we were expecting. But, yeah. An elk was just running up a mountain next to me last night. Big bull elk. It was interesting. I honked a bunch at it to try and scare him off the road so I could pass him without hurting him, and it kind of worked. So he found a little gap in the rocks and tore off up the mountain. Just kind of like walked up a wall. It was kind of great. So I'm gonna try and remember to pull that. That's from my dash cam, not from my my GoPro. So I need to go in and extract that from my memory card. That was one of the most productive terminal visits I have ever had. So, from, I just gotta let you guys know this, because I didn't record any of it, of course. From the line to get fuel at the entrance, the inbound intake line, I use this as a fuel stop, by the way. So, in the intake line, I ordered a pizza. I got my fuel, went around, parked, went up to the gate, pizza driver arrived a few minutes later. It was perfect timing. Ran inside, used the restroom, bought some drinks. Back out to my truck. And put my pizza up and yeah, went back out of my truck, put the pizza, the extra pizza, because I got a free one today. I put the excess pizza into the cooler, so I have some for later.
0.5 miles ahead, turn right on West 1330 South.
That's dinner tonight and probably breakfast tomorrow. So I put that away, and then got in line for a trailer wash, and so while I'm in line for the trailer wash and in the wash bay, I'm eating my pizza, paying my bills for the month, because today's the 26th of the month, which means bills are all due in like the next week. And
0.3 miles ahead, turn right on West 1330 South.
Yeah, paying my bills, eating my lunch, and got our reimbursement processed for the scale ticket. I did stop and check my weight at a cat scale last night on our way out of the shipper. It was about 100 miles away, so it was not going to be great if there were any major issues with the weights, but it was perfectly fine for just double checking axle legalness. productive hour and a half here at the terminal. We got our fuel. That's going to save us a 30-minute stop later, which is fantastic. Got Mr. Maxwell nice and clean. I'm gonna cheat.
0.4 miles ahead, turn left on Utah 154 South. 0.3 miles ahead, turn left on Utah 154 South.
place in Wyoming, but it's always amazing. Look where we are. Look at what we're driving through. Welcome to Green River, Wyoming, where the highway just kind of wraps around in between a couple of really gorgeous little buttes and stuff. It's pretty great. It's pretty great. It's gorgeous. This is one of my favorite stretches of highway. Easily in the entire country. It's right up there with I-84 in Oregon. Might actually be slightly higher than I-84 now after the fire. I haven't actually been back up there to see how it fared. That was old car. The same Green River that Green River, Utah is on. I'm not sure. I need to actually double check that, but I think it is. And above 62 before we get to it. Yep, there we go. We're already at 65. Brakes. Yeah, the road's just going to kind of wind into a canyon for a good bit. I haven't decided where we're stopping yet for the night. We've still got 4 hours left on my drive clock, plus a little bit of leeway in my 14, because I'm going to need to stop at least one more time for a bathroom break. About 70 miles an hour right now, which is about as fast as I ever let Maxwell go downhill. I'm allowed to let him coast up to 75, but it's not a great idea. The truck doesn't really freak out until you hit 80. I try and keep it below 70. 70 is generally where I start applying the foot brake. If we start to creep above that. Should get behind me. There you go. Alright. There was someone coming up that on-ramp who was considering attempting to pass me on the right, I think. I don't actually know where the next rest area is, because I think that's where I want to pull over for my bathroom break. Just do it at a rest area so I can get right back on the freeway. That might be too far, though. We got parking papers at the port of entry. No big deal. They just wanted to see registration. Oh, neat! There's we just passed a cool thing on the on that intermodal cargo train on the right. It had the aerodynamic container on the front rail car. That was super cool. It's a little fuel saving thing they use that instead of the front container being perfectly square, it has an aerodynamic nose cone. I think it might just be like a fake. I don't think it's a real cargo container. I think it's just for aerodynamic purposes. But it diverts the air around the containers behind it, so it's less of a it creates less of a vortex, less drag on the train, so it saves them a bit of fuel, which is super neat. It's kind of like what we do with Maxwell has a bunch of fairings to divert the air around the trailer, as well as the reefer is kind of semi-circular, I guess like half of an O. It's semi-ovular. No, that's not the right word. Semi-elliptical in shape. It's curved. The reefer is curved to help divert air around it if you don't have the kinds of aerodynamic fairings like Maxwell does. And then at the back of our trailer, we've got trailer tails, which keep the as air rushes over a square container, or a square trailer, a cubic trailer, I should say, it creates a vortex at the back where it's just a flat wall, because you get a low pressure space immediately behind the trailer where air is just rushing past it, and it creates a suction vortex right behind the trailer that will actually slow you down. It creates additional drag behind you. It makes very little sense intuitively, but it works. So if you've got the trailer tails, that kind of smooths out the transition from the tractor or from air rushing over the trailer to the space behind it. So that limits the size of the vortex created and saves us a bit of drag and fuel. Trust me, it makes sense. Aerodynamics are cool. Alrighty, folks, we are parked. We are at the I-80 Travel Plaza in Sinclair, Wyoming. The Sinclair. I'm super crooked and I don't care. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. We'll get back on the road in the morning. I figure if this place wanted us to park straight, they'd put lines down. If anyone else else has problems with how crooked I am, they can wake me up or something. I don't know. There's plenty of room here. We'll be fine. It's probably okay. It's probably okay. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. We've got 1,360 miles left to do on this load. So we need to knock out about 600 miles tomorrow. That will leave us with about 750 left. So 600 miles tomorrow, 600 miles the following day-ish. And we'll be able to clean up what's left before we deliver on whatever day that'll be that we deliver. Yeah. We do need to buy a little bit of time. We need to start... I need to be shortening my days, so we're parking before we run out my 14-hour clock each night, so that we're buying an hour each morning. We saved an hour tonight, or we're starting an hour earlier tomorrow. We did 500 miles today, which is not great, but we're in one of those situations where there's not really a lot of parking for the next 100 miles. 100 miles from here would be Laramie, Wyoming, which is totally a fine place to park, but we're going to be getting there late enough at night that there's a chance we're not going to find a spot, and then we won't have any time left to get anywhere else because we're down to less than 2 hours of our clock left. So, yeah, sadly, that means we're going to stop here. It means we didn't get 600 miles today, but that's okay. That's okay. We're buying time right now, and that's what matters. So tomorrow, we ride. I'll see you guys then. Thank you so much for watching. My name's MacLeod, AzerAngel17 on Twitch, Xbox Live, and Steam. Drop in and say hi. Let me know if you enjoy the videos, especially if you drop in on Twitter. My name's MacLeod, no apostrophe there. But yeah, I like hearing from you guys. Twitter's the best place to get a hold of me. But of course, you can always leave comments below the videos. I read them all. And I'm sorry we had so many down days last week. Been a little bit difficult getting back on the getting back to normal. We didn't have any cell signal last night, so I couldn't upload, and that was my first night back on the road from Scoop Fest. So, oops. I'll get some stuff done now, and then we'll see what happens from there. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.